studio, I have a very, very important guest, very special guest in person of Mr. Charles Ayemere Imolame, aka Daddy. Daddy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. You introduced yourself as Charles Imoluame. You did not say you were junior. I'm the old senior in the arrangement. My name is Charles Imoluame too. But he added Ayemere to my own. That's my middle name. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your program.
This is going to be a very interesting podcast because it's one of many that is one of my look. I've looked, I look forward to this podcast with Daddy. It took a long deal for me to get Daddy to this podcast, and I'm very happy that he's here. So, Daddy, for those persons that do not know you, just give us like a brief summary of who you are, so the audience gets to know who you are.
Okay, my name is Charles Imoluame. I am a graphic designer. I also play music, which makes me a musician. I'm a businessman too, because when you add all of it together to continue to survive in a nation like Nigeria, you have to have business to the angles of those things that you do. I am an analyst and I'm also a catalyst, which means on today's topic, I will just try my best to see how I can fit into exactly what you are asking me to talk about.
Okay, yeah. So, that today we're talking about how to manage people. How to manage people. Basically, that's the idea about it. So, just give us a summary of an overview of what it means, people, then people management.
Yeah, people's management is really dependent on whatever platform that we are looking at. Managing people takes the form of either you are talking about managing people from the government uh, sector, there are some in the private sector, there are even some management of people that you have in the churches, local villages, and what have you. Some are organized, while some other ones are just, are just done with local intelligence, which is like when we are talking about villages, our local leaders, our traditional rulers, and so on and so forth. But broadly, if you look at the management of people, um, they are really based on values that the environment demands. And they say, okay, this is what we want to achieve from having people to do what have you. For instance, if you do not send people to train before they give value to society, they become very difficult to manage because you have to train everybody. Either you go to proper school, formal school, or informal schools, or somebody takes the burden of taking you through learning how to achieve those things that society demands. For instance, I will talk about Nigeria as a very simple example. Um, Most of the time, you find the wrong pegs in the wrong holes. People today have the value of say they want to make money. So even if you decide as a manager to say you want them to do a particular function or do a particular job that will bring a particular result at the end of the day, you find that people strain either because there's not enough education or that the value these people have imbibed is the value of thinking that you make money. Money is what is uppermost, and they forget to learn the skills that will make those objectives to be realized. So basically, uh, yes, there are some areas that are easy to run. If you come to the traditional setting, for instance, a king tells you that there's a structure that's happened from the beginning of time, things they can refer to, and they place people in those positions, and they tell you this is what they have to do by the ways that they have their fathers that they saw doing those things from when they were alive. The children just succeed their fathers. They come in and they continue to do such a thing. It becomes easy for management of those type of people within the palace setting. But the man that has a business may not be that lucky. You may set up a business, and those you put in the business will not do exactly as much as you want them to do. Whereas some will be competent and you have others incompetent. So at the end of the day, patience is the key word that begins to help you to keep your business together. Or you do the extra of making sure that you follow up to get some jobs realized. So same also goes to places like the churches too. If you look at churches, the organization in churches are carried out by people, and they are functions of good management. If a church, if you go to churches now, you find from the organogram of the pastors, you find your ushers, you find the in the lay men that are in the churches. You have those who are in charge of security. You have so many strata of what what you please people, humans, to do. And at the end of the day, when you get there and you see a perfect setting, you say, "Wow, this is a good uh, a good structure carried out by management, good management." And who are the managers? Human beings who are either trained or who have come to know what they want to do to make the process work. Um, so far, I think I have tried my best with discussing humans and managing humans in the context of a good management.
Okay, Daddy. So let's look at just a final word for the audience before the end of this podcast. Let's say you are somebody's giving me this scenario. And let me paint a scenario now. A young entrepreneur now is going to business the first time, just employed set of persons now. He doesn't really know how to go about how to select HR. He doesn't know how to select the competent people that he will need for this task he has been given. What process do you think he should follow from the point of interviewing the people to the point of final execution of the project that he wants to do? So just give us a process from somebody that has no experience, has a new business he started, and is going to employ people now. And he's going to put them in these various roles he's going to put them, but he has no idea of how to manage people. How does he go about managing people? That's the case scenario.
It is difficult to even employ if you don't know how to manage people. Because if the people come, they are even competent, you can misplace them in places, in positions that they will not be able to give you competent results. Therefore, if a person is starting a business and you want to employ people, the first thing is to even first of all look at the business you are doing, and you now aggregate that with the kind of services you want that can add value to your business, which is to say, by the time you are advertising for somebody to come, you already know who the type of person is, and how much you have put aside to pay for the services that person will render, because that is very important for your own business, because your output will depend on how much you can even pay those who work for you. So if they come, for instance, of course you are going to also set goals and the type of people you want, the qualification, the type of behavior that you think they should have, the type of appearance that you want. Everybody wants good workers. So you must demand for outspoken people, people who are intelligent, people who have the intellect to be able to um, do your services without supervision if they can, because they are competent. You'll be paying for those services that give you. Then this same um, staff or people that you want to employ must also be qualified in terms of the standard you have set that you want. Some will take school certificates, some will take university degrees, and some will even take bigger degrees like master's degrees and PhDs and all of that. So depending on the kind of services you want rendered to you. So It's as easy as finding out those things, those values, those things that you want for yourself, and meeting those people also that will do the job for you. A person cannot come with a PhD, for instance, and cannot speak good English. Of course, the person becomes suspect. A person that speaks good English can also come and he doesn't have documents to back up whatever the person is saying. So it has to be that the match will go for what you are looking for as an entrepreneur that wants services that can up your services or your business.
Wow. So, Daddy, rounding up this podcast, what final advice do you have for a young man or a young lady out there on how to live life with purpose?
Yes, for you to live life with purpose, you have to first of all believe that there is a God, and that God is the Almighty God that takes care of everything that we do. Some could be Muslims, some could be Christians, but in all of those who believe that a superior being takes care of our dreams and our movements to greatness, we know that that is the first. Second is that you avoid all those distractions that can make you begin to believe that there are other ways to make it. Through hard work, you can make it. When you decide to take a job, do your best to make a mark and let everyone who you walk around with, even your employer, will know that you are working hard. And do not take part in running people down. If that's if you keep all those things with God on your side, you'll be a very successful person in the work you do.
Thank you, Daddy, for joining us on today's podcast, and we hope to see you in other interesting episodes.
Thank you so much for having me. And anytime you call, we'll be talking to you, right? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay.
Hey!